Yep, same shirt from the last few videos. You know what this is. It's a curly girl interview. Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me and my curly girl friends. Today we are getting the pleasure of talking to Cajun. Cajun is a longtime friend of mine, and she's not necessarily a curly hair influencer, curly hair guru. She's very knowledgeable, and her story is absolutely incredible. I think a ton of y'all will get so much benefit from hearing what she's been through with her hair, and I sure hope you enjoy this interview. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey there, Cajun! How are you?
Hi, Courtney. I am great. How are you?
Good. Okay, guys, little backstory. Cajun and I have been girlfriends for quite some time, but I haven't seen her in a little while, and I'm so excited to get to see you.
Me too. It's been too long.
It really has. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Just a little bit.
Just put us on the spot, Courtney. Why don't you? You do this to every curly girl you interview? No. Okay. So my husband and I have a production company, and we do YouTube, and I do photography for marketing, clients, things like that. Yeah, and that's mostly the important stuff, I guess. But I struggled for until 24 years of my life, basically, with really damaged hair. And I started dyeing it when I was 12, and I never gave it a chance to recover,
You started
so
dyeing it when you were 12?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what colors? What were you doing with your hair at 12? That's amazing.
It's not. I was into like the punk scene, the emo scene.
Okay.
And so I was like, Mom, let me do this. And then I dyed my hair like bright red, like candy apple red. And
I've done that. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of fun.
It is, but it's so damaging because you go from one color to the next color to the next color, and you're stripping out the old color so you can go platinum again.
That's right.
Just completely wrecked my hair. And I never really realized that I could have nice hair. And when I grew up and I wanted to see myself more maturely, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. Let's try to level this out a little bit and see what we can do. And I just could never quite get there. And so eventually I met a curly hairstylist here in California, in San Diego, actually. And her hair was just gorgeous. Her name was Raquel, and she had this gorgeous pixie cut with these really flowing, beautiful curls. And I was just like, how do you do that? Do you style your hair like that? And she told me what she did, and she diffused my hair one day, and I got the tiniest bit of wave, just the tiniest bit of definition. And so I was like, okay, let's try this. And my hair was like clear up to here at that point. Okay. It was really short because I've never been able to grow my hair either.
Okay.
So for 24 years,
how did you style your hair before meeting your curly hair stylist?
Flat iron.
Okay. So you were blow fry and flat iron all the way.
Yes. Yeah. I was blow frying it, and it wasn't getting anywhere, and it just looked dull, and yes, how that looks. So I just wasn't happy with it. So she showed me a totally different way. And then I moved back to Ohio. And in 2018, I was like, I've got to repair my hair. That was my biggest priority. I was like, I want to see myself in a better light. And so I thought that was really hair connected. And so then I went on this journey of just trying to figure out how to repair my hair. And that's when your YouTube channel popped up, and history ever since.
So you found a lot of benefit from watching YouTube tutorials.
Yes. Yeah. Really cool. Actually, the first video I watched was on how Olaplex can repair your hair, basically like immediately. And I was watching this girl, she had like silverish purple hair and it was fried. And
Yeah.
she did this treatment and it really kind of helped seal, seal her cuticle. And I'm like, huh, okay. So I got Olaplex and I started doing treatments. And then around that same time, I came across your channel, which really intrigued me because I wasn't doing this to get curly hair. That wasn't my goal. My goal was just to have healthier hair because I didn't think I had curly hair. I always had straight hair.
Yeah.
So when I came across your channel, it really intrigued me because you said in a lot of your videos, you said, we're going to use the curly girl method to improve the health of your hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we're doing it.
So that's kind of how you got intrigued with embracing the wave or the curl.
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say, trying to improve the health of my hair. And then in doing that, it actually did lead me to embracing the curl. I was like, oh, I do have a wave pattern here. So
Your hair has changed so much since the last time I saw you. I really like it. I don't even know how to describe it, but I'm loving the shape and the length and the texture. It's giving me all the feels.
Oh, thank you. I have a shag cut right now.
That must be it. I really love the shag cut on you.
Thank you.
What are your current favorite products that you're playing with?
Well, I'm a little bit of a habitual person, so I haven't really changed my routine much because I find that when I change my routine, it just doesn't work for me, like my, ride or die products. So I'm doing Giovanni Triple Street shampoo. I'm doing the Mop Top. Of course, Mop Top was the very first line I tried out and just fell in love. It was hook, line, and sinker. So I'm doing the Mop Top Daily Conditioner. And I will toggle back and forth between Curls Blueberry Bliss leave-in conditioner and As I Am leave-in conditioner. If I want more moisture, I'll tend to go with As I Am, but if I feel like I need more protein, I'll use the Curls. And then for gel, I will use the Uncle Funky's Daughter Curly Hair Magic. I absolutely love that product. Or I will use Kinky Curly Curling Custard.
That is super cool. Now, is your hair fine, medium, coarse? Now I'm going to say it's a lower porosity, but what do you think?
Oh gosh. I would say, okay, my hair is super dense. I have a lot of hair, but it's very fine in diameter, I would say. Like you can see it and you can feel it. And if you run your fingers, you can feel something is there. And there are a few pieces I've noticed as I've gotten older and throughout this process that feel really super coarse. And I'm like, where did that come from? Like this wiry strand ends up like coming out in the shower. I'm like, what in the devil is that?
That's funny. I've started noticing the same thing too. I think it's normal to have a range of porosities on your head. It's normal to have a range of textures. And I can see how a lot of people get so hung up on figuring those two things out that it's almost a tripping point instead of a stepping stool where you can figure out what works and what's not. So I like that you just settled in on the products and you're like, I like these. These work. I'm happy.
I just don't have time to really experiment too much. And I just wanted my hair to work. And I know that when my hair was super damaged, the only thing that got me through was Mop Top. And then from there, I stopped using the shampoo and started using Giovanni because I needed a little more clarifying. And from there, I just haven't really ventured out into the deep waters of the curly girl product world.
You haven't done the product junkie thing.
No.
That I did.
Well, I tried some Curlsmith products and you know what? I didn't like them. Okay. I have the jelly maybe or something. I don't remember what it's called. I don't use it enough, but I have one of their gels and it gave me like a flash drying effect and I just can't figure it out, can't crack it. So I just stick with what I know, but
And thankfully, most of the places that you can purchase Curlsmith from do take returns. So that's always a bonus.
Oh, right, right.
So, since you have started wearing your hair curly, what does your travel routine like? Because it looks one way when you're wearing your hair straight, and then your
Mhm.
travel routine looks very different when you start traveling with curly hair.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I actually, okay, this is so funny. My husband briefed me on this little interview just to make sure I was like sharp on what I wanted to come across. And we got to the travel question and I said, minimal, it's very minimal. And he goes,
Oh,
and
that's
if you
funny.
know Cliff, you know that he's a jokester. So obviously we had our good laugh, but no, it is truly minimal. In this world, my travel routine is very minimal because I just pack my shampoo, my conditioner, and my leave-in. I don't even take a gel. Because lots of times I have found, especially in the Southwest, different climates, different dew points. Now I'm so much older and wiser in the curly girl method that I know gel just doesn't work for you everywhere you go, especially if you're changing different waters, different temperatures, all of those things. So yeah, I don't even pack a gel normally. It's just leave-in conditioner or a cream sometimes. I'll still do the perfect hair care towel and I'll still diffuse and I'll get a looser wave, obviously, but it feels nice. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel brittle and like
I agree.
hard. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? How gel does that. So
Do you bring your silk pillowcase with you?
I do. I do.
I
Yeah.
do too. I feel
Yeah.
a little bit self-conscious when I do that, but then I'm like, no, I'm going to be sleeping cozy tonight.
Yeah. It's so much better. And like your complexion changes when you start using a silk pillowcase too. Like I struggled with a problematic complexion in the past. And now I'm finding that the silk pillowcase has really helped with that as well. And of course, the pineapple at night, I still throw my hair up in a pineapple when I sleep, but it's really the same as it is at home. I just don't use gel.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what is the biggest obstacle that you ran into when you were working through damaged hair, getting to healthy hair?
Oh gosh. Patience. It was more mental for me than hair related because I'll be completely frank, I would have decent enough hair days in the beginning because look, anything was better than what I had. So
Yeah.
when I started getting the tiniest glimpses of a good hair day, I would really hold on to that. I was like, oh, this is something, this is an improvement, you know? And I would get really excited. And so because I had a really hard starting point, I think I appreciated the little milestones so much more than somebody with already nice hair would when they're scrunching and doing the method and they maybe don't get the curls overnight. They would get disappointed. But to me, I saw those little moments as a win, like I'm going in the right direction. And so the hardest thing was just being patient and trusting in the process and not knowing if this was going to fix my hair and then not even knowing am I even going to have curly hair. The transition phase was the hardest. Those first 6 months holding on through that, I had to learn how to fix my hair on the days I had to be presentable. So that was probably the
Right.
hardest.
Because
Yeah.
it's so different and you give up all semblance of consistency and control over your
Yeah.
hair when you
Yeah.
start doing this. And
Yeah,
that is
you
hard.
can't straighten it. I mean, you can't straighten it into submission and make it just sit. It has a mind of its own for those first, for me, it was around 6 months of transition, so
I admire you for putting a hard no on the straightener. I'm not going to lie. In the first 6 months I was doing this, I wore my hair straight a couple times. I just needed to do that. And you know what? It cost me, but it didn't cost me terribly. But I mean, it took me 8 months before my hair started being more normal, like consistent.
Mhm.
How did you feel? How long did it take you to get to a point where you felt like you had some semblance of consistency in your routine?
S A year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a year before I knew exactly if I do this, this, and this, it will result in some fashion that I want it to. I'll have some semblance of control over my hair. It was about a year. Yeah. And I will say, I'm no saint. I didn't use a straightener. I didn't flat iron, but I did use a curling iron a couple times, like a big barrel curling iron. And you know what, Courtney?
I won't tell the curly police, I promise.
Thank you. But to your point, it didn't cost you that much. And in the scheme of things, how much time are we wasting on chasing perfection, and for what?
Yep.
We can't take it with us,
Yep.
you know? You might as well just enjoy a good thing when it comes. And if it's not so great, enjoy that too. Enjoy that season that you're in. And don't be too hung up if it doesn't turn out perfectly. And don't be too hung up if you have to do something else and kind of get you off the path that you thought you were supposed to be
If
on.
you have to bust out the big curling wand, no big deal. All the steps you've taken up to that point have built in some grace into your hair where it's going to bounce back a little bit better than it would have.
Exactly.
And okay, have you had this experience, Cajun, where you're not feeling your hair? You know that it's not the best hair day, but you wear it down anyway, you go to the grocery store, and the stranger behind you in the checkout line, what do they say?
Oh, I love your hair. What did you do to get it like that?
Every time.
I know. You're like, what do you mean? I look like a homeless person today. You know?
I was at the pizza buffet the other day and the same thing happened to me. And I went, this is the sweetest thing ever.
And it's like a little nugget, you know? You've tried so hard, it didn't work out. But to you, it might not have been perfection. But to somebody else, they don't see that. And that's like that little nugget of, don't strive so much for perfection. Just enjoy the ride and don't worry about it, because other people don't care at all. And they probably will think it looks better than you think it looks.
Well,
especially when you get to a certain standard of hair.
That's true.
Yeah, because you're expecting this and you want it to be this and it's been this, but when it's not this to you, you're like, ooh, but you walk around and other people's standards might only be here.
Yeah.
So
I think everybody's standards for themselves are off of the screen.
yes.
Whereas like you may hit here anyway.
Right.
You pretty much answered the last question. What is the best piece of advice that you would give someone to just starting this process? I think what you said is so perfect. Understand that this is a process. Mm-hmm. Allow yourself to go through this process. Give yourself time and grace to learn and give up this standard of perfection.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it's not overnight. It's not an overnight thing. It's not an overnight fix. There is no overnight fix. And really, I did have another piece of advice, but that's not.
Oh, go ahead then.
No, you're totally good. To that point, it's not an overnight thing. This is going to require, if you dive headfirst into the curly girl pool, ocean, it's going to take copious amounts of your time, your energy, and you're going to have to learn a lot and unlearn things that you maybe, had served you in the past. It's not going to serve you moving forward. So it is a learning curve. But again, to your point, just be patient in the refining process, because it can be so transformative if you let it.
What has been the biggest change that you have seen in your hair and in any other area since choosing to walk through the year of bad hair days?
Oh man, I feel like I'm just so much more resilient to just walk down to the grocery store with a towel on my head now. Like I don't care, because I've lived through bad hair, and then I've lived through mediocre hair where I was trying something and it, obviously didn't always work out. And, when your husband sees you, and some of the concoctions that we wear on our heads and some of the things we do with our hair dryers. And like when he sees you going through all of that, or when your roommate sees you doing all of those things, expectations just go out the window. You don't hold yourself to such a high standard anymore. And I feel like that's really allowed me to loosen up and just, like, here I am, world. And if you like me, great. If you don't, well, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay because I feel chosen and seen regardless. So,
I love that. Well, thank you, Cajun, so much for coming on and sharing all of your experience. This is incredible. Guys, y'all know the drill. You see that little arrow right there at the bottom underneath me? Yeah, click that, open up the description box, and we will have all of Cajun's locations on the internets available for you to go check her out. Where can people find you, Cajun?
thecreatorscup.com and our YouTube channel, The Creators Cup, and anywhere. I believe, yes, we have a Facebook page as well, but we're not as active on our social media accounts as we probably should be. We've been doing a lot of moving around and kind of reevaluating our business, and so it's not as consistent as you would think if you go onto our socials. But our YouTube channel, we do try to put out a video as often as we possibly can, and we're going to work on putting out even more in the future. So.
And y'all's videos are amazing for anyone who is really looking to up their skills with their camera, with their cinematography, all that jazz. I mean, I feel like that's pretty clear from looking at this video. Oh my goodness. Can we just appreciate the artistry that is the shot that Cajun is sitting in?
It's all Genevieve.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Cajun. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Go check her out. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Isn't Cajun just delightful? Not to mention that her and her husband having a very helpful YouTube channel will make your pictures and photos and photography and cinematography and all the things better. But her story about her hair and going from really damaging and torturing her hair to getting the healthiest hair of her life, I love it. I love it. It makes me so happy. I hope that you are encouraged if you are really struggling in the middle of working towards healthy hair. And if you are, feel free to subscribe because we have more awesome stories from Curly Girls coming your way very soon. More interviews coming up. And as always, I hope y'all are having an absolutely fantastic day. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.